Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as we are here, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is, but the war in Iran, it's going on, ladies and gentlemen. It's not showing any signs of going south. It's only going north. The war in Iran does look like it's escalating. And Donald Trump has come out in the last in the last hour, and he's absolutely blasted Keir Starmer. He has. Now, I'm going to share with you guys that video in a second, but what I just want to, how does the president of the United States understand the people of Britain better than our own prime minister? Like, how is that even a thing? What happens there? How does that happen, guys, where the president of the United States can understand how people in the United Kingdom are feeling better than the people in the better than the government in the United Kingdom themselves? Obviously, for those of you guys who don't know, there's been more stabbings in the United Kingdom. We are now on the crisis time. We are, guys. We are in crisis time. It's gone 6 o'clock. So what I think, hang on. Big B of BFD is saying that Birmingham stabbing was crazy. Yeah. So from from the Birmingham stabbing, and I don't know if I can share the video with you guys. Yeah, I think I can actually. I think I can share the video with you guys. So from the Birmingham stabbing earlier on today, it looks like, and I'm just going to say this because everybody, it's all over social media. The Birmingham stabbing was a black man stabbing an alleged Afghan man. So that's what's happening there. And it's like I keep saying, we are heading towards this type of conflict where it's not going to be us and them. It's going to be us versus them versus them. It's just carnage, guys. These problems from the third world are being imported to our country. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are paying for it as well. So what I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to start by playing the video of Donald Trump absolutely blasting Keir Starmer. I'm then going to go on to give you guys an update on the Iran war, what we know so far, how that's been progressing. And just as a quick question, is anyone else absolutely embarrassed that the French have had to send the French Navy to come and protect the British air bases in one of them, there's not two, in Cyprus? I'm a little bit embarrassed about that. Anyway, so where are we? Let me share this video with you guys of Donald Trump. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Do you think Donald Trump is right in saying this? And don't worry, I'll play this video later on in the live stream as well. You couldn't have got that at a better part, could you?
Has UK. Now, the second one is shocking, but this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that stupid island that they have, that they gave away and took a 100-year lease, having to do with perhaps indigenous people claiming the island that never even saw the island before. What's that all about? And they ruin relationships. It's a shame. It's and that country, UK, and I love that country. I love it. My mother was born there. I love it. My mother was born there. My father was born. Right? He knows all about my father. My father was born there. So, there are places that you sort of automatically very, very feel warmly about. But the UK, what?
Just quickly. So if Donald Trump's mother is British, does that mean Donald Trump could run for Parliament in Britain? Listen, can you guys remember maybe like 2 years ago? Maybe 2 years ago, I sat down and I said to you guys, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing the footsteps. I'm seeing the seeds being laid right now for Britain to become part of America. I got a load of backlash on social media for that. Oh, Sean, we will never do that. We're never going to be, never. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you prefer would you prefer to be to have Donald Trump as your leader? A constitution? Now, a constitution is a legal document between the people and the government. Yes, and I know somebody's going to pipe up in the chat. Oh, but Sean, we have a constitution. Trust me, guys, we don't have a constitution in the United Kingdom. There's something in legal jargon called the English Constitution, but there is no document that is actually a constitution. The English Constitution is made up from various documents that are heavily interpreted by legal teams. The thing about the American Constitution is it's very simple. It's very short. It's a tiny little document. And there is no interpretation of those, of what those words mean. Those words are taught in schools, so there can be no interpretation. And by interpretation, I mean like lawyers like Keir Starmer saying, "Oh, actually, the meaning of this word is this," and oh. So anyway, let's continue to see what Donald Trump's saying about the United Kingdom.
What they're doing with energy and what they're doing with immigration is horrible. You have the North Sea. Somebody said yesterday, what would you do if you were the UK? Open up the North Sea. They got windmills all over the place that are ruining the country, ruining the landscapes, ruining the beautiful fields. Open up the North Sea. It's one of the greatest. Think of it. They buy their energy from.
How can the president of America be so like hitting the nail on the head perfectly? How is Donald Trump sat in America hitting the nail on the head about what's happening in the United Kingdom and giving us the solutions to it so simply?
From Norway, which gets the energy, the oil from the North Sea. So Norway drills in the North Sea and sells it to UK. And
can you imagine that? That's what's happening right now in the North Sea. For those of you guys who don't know, off the coast of Scotland, the Norwegians are drilling for oil in the North Sea, where Britain can drill for oil, but we're not allowed to drill for oil because we're all green and stuff. So the Norwegians are drilling for oil and then selling it to us at a profit. It's just so ridiculous, guys. It's unfathomable. And that's a beautiful chair he's sat on as well. I love that pattern.
UK has a better part of the North Sea. Open up that. And number two, illegal immigration. They got to solve that problem. And I must say, that's not only UK, that's other parts of the European Union that have the same problem. Immigration and energy. The energy is through the roof, the highest in the world. And the immigration was, I mean, you know, look, you have places where in the UK, you have a terrible mayor of London, terrible. He's an incompetent guy. But you have Sharia courts. You don't have Sharia courts. You don't want Sharia courts. You have Sharia courts adjudicating law. So it's very simple. Immigration, very importantly, immigration and energy. And you bring it back. Otherwise, you're not going to bring it back.
How? Like literally, how does the president of the United States so perfectly within, what's that, like 2.5 minutes or something, say what's wrong with the United Kingdom and how to solve it? And remember, Donald Trump, earlier on, he said, yeah, we're not dealing with Winston Churchill. So I guess you can see the special relationship is straining. Right, listen, guys, I'm going to jump straight onto my opening monologue now. We're going to talk about the escalating situation in the Middle East. Excuse me. So now, I will be talking about what I've just, I will be briefly touching on the video that I've just shared with you guys. Now, the reason I'm doing that, the reason I shared it with you guys first is so when I'm talking about it in a minute, in case you guys have not seen it, then you can, you guys can refer back to it. So as we sat here, what date is it? The 3rd of the 3rd, ladies and gentlemen, President Donald Trump has declared just about everything has been knocked out in Iran, while publicly blasting the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Sir Keir Starmer. And listen, I saw a video earlier, actually, and people are a bit, people were shouting Keir Starmer is a banker. He wasn't a banker. He was a lawyer, not a banker. He was a lawyer. I don't know why they were shouting. Why would they be singing Keir Starmer is a banker? I don't know. So he was blasting the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. I don't even know if I feel awkward calling him Sir. I just want to call him Starmer. By publicly blasting Sir Keir Starmer and the UK's handling of the ongoing US-Israel war against the regime in Tehran. This came during a White House appearance alongside the German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, who spoke to Trump and reporters in the Oval Office. He boasted that the US and Israeli strikes, now in their fifth, is it fifth? I think it is, yeah. Now in their fifth day under Operation Epic Fury, have devastated Iran's military, radar systems, missile production facility, naval assets, air defense, and much of their leadership infrastructure knocked out. He framed it as a decisive, ongoing campaign that's going very well. Denying Israel forced his hand and suggesting the regime's remaining power base should realize it before it's too late for negotiations. Trump even projected the operation could last weeks or longer, with more forces flowing in and acceptance of further US casualties. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, when everybody's telling you one thing and I'm telling you the other thing, go with what I'm saying. Literally, just go with what I'm saying, right? This is not going to be over in a week. This is not going to be over in a couple of days. When this first started, there was people, oh, it's going to be over in a couple of days. It's going to be fine. No. Now, the reason I said that is because of the amount of assets that have been sent down into that region. Aircraft carriers, ships, submarines, logistics. It's all there now. It's all there, and this bombardment can be sustained. Now, the real sting from the video I've just shared with you guys was, if you live in the United Kingdom, I don't know where you live. However, the real sting for the people in the United Kingdom was his criticism pointed towards the United Kingdom. And look, guys, I've got to be honest. I think he's quite fair in what he's saying. He said he's not happy with Britain, accusing the country of being very uncooperative alongside Spain. Since the strikes began on Saturday, he singled out Keir Starmer directly. This is not Winston Churchill we're dealing with. This is not Winston Churchill we're dealing with. We're not dealing with Winston Churchill. We're dealing with, I don't know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with somebody, but it's not Winston Churchill. The jab refers clearly to Keir Starmer's initial reluctance to allow the United States to use bases in Fairford in Gloucestershire and the joint military facility in Diego Garcia, which is what is commonly referred to as the Chagos Islands. I don't know if you guys know that. The Chagos Islands, Diego Garcia, it's the same. It's not the same thing. The Chagos Islands is the islands. And Diego Garcia is a joint airbase on one of those islands. Very strategic. Trump claimed it took far too long, 3 or 4 days, to get permission, calling it disappointing and unprecedented between close allies. And he's absolutely right. However, we do need to understand the context. Keir Starmer has to be seen to be appeasing the minority vote in the United Kingdom, and that's what a sad state we're in, guys. That is the sad state that we're in. Unfortunately, he contrasted it with more immediate support from France and NATO figures, saying the US-UK relationship is obviously not what it was. That hurts. That really does hurt me, guys. It really does. And Donald Trump's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. To put this in perspective, Starmer addressed Parliament yesterday defending his stance as guided by international law. You guys know how I feel about international law, right? You guys know how I feel about international law. I know you do. And I know you know I'm not about to rant about international law, but by the beard of Zeus and Odin's eye, it's hard not to rant about international law. when it seems to like flop about out of Keir Starmer's mouth all the time. So, like I said, to put this into context, Keir Starmer yesterday said he stands by his stance because it's guided by, he was guiding it in with international law. It just, honestly, it just, calm yourself, Sean, calm yourself. Keir Starmer reiterated the United Kingdom did not participate in the initial strikes, which killed the Ayatollah, and won't join offensive action, but agreed to limited defensive action, use of bases to help neutralize Iran's missile threat, famed as a collective self-defense after Iranian missiles hit, it was Iranian drones, wasn't it? Hit British interests like the drone strike on RAF Akateria. He invoked lessons from Iraq, stressing no regime change from the skies and a measured involvement. Now, when Keir Starmer talks about he doesn't want to do offensive action, but he wants to do offensive action. I promise you guys, this is my opinion, speculation, and of course for entertainment purposes, it wouldn't surprise me if Keir Starmer, rather than go and take out these missile bases that are firing at RAF Akateria, he just, instructs the aircraft to go and put themselves in the way of the missiles because they don't want to fire any missiles at these, because I don't know, maybe Keir Starmer doesn't want to fire any missiles at the missiles that are coming to destroy Britain, but because that would be in breach of international law because, missiles have feelings, not all missiles are lethal, guys. So instead, he just wants to get the RAF pilot to ram it or to get rammed into. It's just honestly, it's so ridiculous. Anyway, Trump's outburst has been echoing all over the media. It's been all over the mainstream, highlighted strains in, the special relationship is a critical moment. The US is escalating more troops, more strikes on leadership compounds. Iran's retaliating across the Gulf and beyond, and allies are being publicly called out for perceived hesitation. For Britain, for the British, this adds pressure. We're supporting defensively, but not fully in the fight, which Trump sees as weak compared to Churchill era resolve. And I understand it. I understand why Keir Starmer cannot. I understand why Keir Starmer cannot be seen to be offensively active in this conflict because the Muslims are going to go crackers, right? The Muslims are going to go bonkers. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens tonight. Anyway, we've also got to look at the bigger picture that the United Kingdom are already committed in Ukraine. So every pound that we spend in the Middle East is a pound that we don't really have. Remember, guys, we've got 22 billion black hole. And it's another pound that we can't spend in Ukraine. So that's the reality. And very soon, I believe that the focus is going to shift from the United Kingdom, the United States. Donald Trump will say, Ukraine's not our problem. You guys have got to deal with that. It's not our problem. Britain, you got to take the lead and get yourself some honor back. The human cost keeps rising. More U.S. fatalities now. I think we're at 6 U.S. fatalities. Iranian civilians, military deaths are mounting, overspill chaos in the region, and domestic risks. Heightened potential for asymmetric warfare in the region, in the United States and in Europe. Starmer's team brushed off criticism, reaffirming the United Kingdom as a staunch ally to the United States. But the public spat underscores how divided even close partners are over war's scope and strategy. So look, there's a few things happening here that we need to unpack. First of all, at a military corporation level, the militaries are totally fine. The British military and the American military, they're totally fine. All right. This is at political level, right? I would say Keir Starmer is a leader that doesn't get full access because I don't think he's trusted. I would say Donald Trump is a leader that gets full access because he's trusted, right? You know, like, for example, if you go to, we used to do it in the military. You know, if you don't want a politician to come and look at your shit, you just say they don't have security clearance. It's very simple, you know. Okay, I don't know, defense minister coming in to look at the, to look around the camp. And I know this sounds wild, right? But this is how it works, and this is how it should work, right? Defense minister comes in and he wants to, I don't know, he wants to have a look at somewhere, and you don't want to let him have a look. You just say, "Oh, sorry, sir. We can only let people who are security cleared up to this level. Are you security cleared up to that level?" And a lot of it, I think the defense minister is probably the wrong. No, of course not. You know, the defense minister does not need to be cleared up to the highest secret levels, right? Why does he? Do you think the defense minister needs to have access to all the special forces guys' names and addresses and where they live? No, absolutely not. There are some things that will be, you know, compartmentalized, even from the defense minister, even from the prime minister. However, if the same politician comes in and you trust him and you like him, you're like, yeah, come straight in. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works in the military. You can bitch about it all you want, but that's how it works. And I think that is a good way of doing it. I mean, can you seriously imagine Keir Starmer having unlimited access to military secrets? Jesus. Can you imagine that if Keir Starmer had unlimited military access to UK, UK, whatever secret levels they are? Right, I'm just going to jump onto this now because this is something that I didn't know had happened. Let me share this with you guys again real quick. So there's been multiple stabbings over the last couple of what am I doing? There's been multiple stabbings over the last couple of days. Now this jumped out on me, and I didn't even. This is from today, right? I didn't know that this was a thing. 2 more teens arrested over mosque stabbing. 2 more teenagers. Anyway, so this guy here, Zishan Afzal, 18, died after being attacked outside a mosque on Albury Road in Smethwick. I didn't realize that thing had even. I didn't realize that had even happened. He was found with serious stab injuries on Oldham Road near Jamia Masjid Mosque shortly before 9 p.m. on Thursday, the 20th of February. I didn't have a clue this had happened, guys. Just as worshippers were leaving for prayers during the first Friday of Ramadan. So I think the news was more people. Joe, hang on a minute. I should do a live stream about this myself. Hang on, give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I'm doing some real-time analysis here. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Literally give me 2 seconds. Right, I'm pretty sure that you remember when that guy walked into the mosque? Remember when that guy walked into the mosque? Oh, they've named him. They don't usually do that until somebody's been proven, somebody's been charged. I'm pretty sure that was the same day. I'm just trying to find it now. They're not putting the date on there. This is a conspiracy. I swear this is right. Tuesday evening. Right, so Tuesday evening. Do you know what? Let me ask AI. Sorry, guys, just please bear with me. I'm trying to do some fact checking here. What date? All right. Okay. That was on the, okay. So that was on the 24th. Right. Let's jump back to it then. So today on Tuesday morning, two 17-year-olds who cannot be named for legal reasons due to their age were arrested and taken into custody for questioning by West Midlands Police. Listen, again, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Is it me or is there a lot of mentioning in the news about West Midlands Police and certain events and certain communities? Wasn't Enoch Powell from Birmingham? This comes after 3 other teenagers have already been charged with murder in relation to Zishan's death. Early reports confirmed charges against boys 16 and 17 who appeared in Wolverhampton Magistrates Court, plus at least one additional 17-year-old held in custody. So that's like 5 people. What the fuck's happening? We believe there are a number of people with information but have not yet come forward. Your information alongside what we have released so far could be vital in helping us get justice for Zishan and his family. It's tragic that someone so young had their life taken away from them. The incident happened amid disorder outside a mosque, and 2 other young men aged 19 and 20 were taken to hospital with injuries, though not life-threatening. So is it me or is anybody putting together these pattern recognitions where you're looking at what's happening in the United Kingdom and you're thinking, yeah, I can see patterns. I can see patterns now. So I just wanted to throw that out there, guys, because that is something that I totally missed. I didn't even know that had happened, but there's been a stabbing on the 20th of February, excuse me, outside a mosque in Birmingham, shortly before 9 p.m. So mosques, stabbings, stabbings in school, people running to mosques, stabbings outside mosques, man walks into a mosque with an axe. Seems like there's a lot of... There's a lot of energy around bladed weapons and blunt instruments in and around mosques. That's what it just seems to me. I don't know what that is. I don't know how you would I'd like to speak to people. I would, and just say, listen, what is this all about? Why are these things? Why do these things continue to happen? Right, I'm going to jump onto the chat, guys. I'm going to just jump onto the chat. Sean, have a look in the chat, please. Yes, I will, Ruben. Right, what's going on in the chat? What's going on in the chat, guys? I'm on the chat now, guys. Sean, FFS, right, what's going on? What's going on? Right, I'm going to assume I'm more drunk. Right, I'm more drunk. You're going straight into timeout. Oh, what have I just done? Right, Amore's going straight into timeout. Right, yeah, Amore's going into timeout. Sorry, guys, listen. Oh, right, I do apologize. Listen, Amore's gone. Amore's gone. He's not coming back. And if I see him poke up again, he's going to be gone, guys. He's going to be gone. Wasn't that from Lisa Jane? Wasn't that from earlier on today? Wasn't that from earlier on today? I think that was that from earlier on today? Silly Gallardi is saying, did Starmer say anything about Trump? I don't think Keir Starmer has the capacity to say anything about Trump. Blunt or bladed is pretty much the melee choice. It is that. Listen, and look, guys, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. All I'm saying is there's often mosques involved in these things, right? There's often mosques involved. The stabbing the other day at the school in London, the boy ran off and he was found crying at a mosque, right? That's what happened. Stabbing outside a mosque on the 20th of February. Mosque again. Man walked into a mosque with an axe and a knife in a bag. Again, I'm not sure where where the law's been broken there. But, you know, it does seem like there's a lot of energy surrounding that. Epicenters of trouble and chaos, says Cindy Archer. Right, guys, listen, I really need to go to the toilet. Oh, no, right. No, we don't do that. Listen, if anybody, right, listen, guys, if you're in the United Kingdom, right, and you're wanting to spend money on protecting yourself and your family, all right, buy a good car with an extended fuel tank. Right, excuse me. Right, listen, guys, I'm literally going to have to run to the toilet because I'm absolutely bursting. When I get back, I'm going to get some more messages from the chat, and then I will I'll be giving you guys live updates from the conflict in the Middle East. I'll be right back. Oh, thanks for hanging around, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate it. Right, let me jump down and then I'll give you guys some updates on what's been happening in the last while. Pearl and Dean, who goes to the cinema now? Who goes to the cinema? Right, let me. I'm just going to jump onto these updates, guys. Right, we have got some updates from the conflict in. Okay, so the United States are claiming in the last 4 minutes that they have nearly 9,000 Americans evacuated from the Middle East. Wow, that is a good effort. About 9,000 Americans have evacuated the Middle East since the start of the joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iran. More than 44,000 travelers in the United Arab Emirates to be repatriated. Tens of thousands of travelers. Listen, right? I'm just throwing it out there, right? If you're in Dubai, stop being gay, sit it out. It'll be a laugh. It will be a laugh. Honestly, like, I get it. You're there with your kids and everything. Go to the beach. There's going to be no queues. Stop being gay. So like, I don't know what year it was. Maybe like 2014 or 2015. I was in Donetsk, right? Out in Ukraine. And I was on my own. Well, I was with my interpreter. And we were right out on the front line. And I said to the colonel who I was with, I said, oh, right. I said, we haven't got any food. What do we do for food? And the colonel's like, what? You don't have no food? I'm like, no, I don't have no food. Anyway, he gets on the phone. He goes, I take you to very good restaurant. #1, very best. And we went to this restaurant and it was like an underground, you got to go downstairs. And we were sat there, and this lady, she brought out these really perfectly cooked, really thick pork chops. And I had like a Russian salad, which is like, I don't know, it's like salad and mayonnaise and stuff, and it comes in like a little pot. Anyway, we were sat there. I think there was 3, maybe 4 of us. And we sat there, and then we heard this, and like we were coming under artillery strike. And like the Ukrainians were looking like a little bit embarrassed to me. So we were sat there eating his dinner, and we was underground, and the whole place is shaking and the lights. I was like, yeah, let's just have us dinner and somebody bring me some beer. Literally, somebody bring me some beer because I'm not getting taken out by indirect fire if I'm sober. So if you guys are in Dubai, I would go with that. I would go with that philosophy. Stop being gay. Sit it out. It's not going to be as bad as you think. You know, it really isn't going to be as bad as you think, especially in Dubai. Khamenei to be buried in the holy city of Mashhad. Right, okay, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen there. Right, so Khamenei is going to be buried in the holy city. And this is from 21 minutes ago, right? So they're saying where he's going to be buried. I'm going to speculate that when that funeral procession goes out, there's going to be a shit ton of J-dams falling on them. And a lot more people are going to get sent to the candy shop. And Dubai says, well, there we go, look. Dubai are claiming in the last hour that there are no casualties from the drone-related incident near the U.S. consulate. Dubai media office says no injuries have been reported following a drone-related strike. Yeah, look, guys, listen. People need to stop being gay, right, and start understanding that a bit of indirect fire never hurt anyone. A little bit of indirect fire never hurt anyone, all right? It's going to man you up. And if you're that guy right now, right, listen, if you're in Dubai right now and you're this guy, right? You're this guy in Dubai. You've got those skinny jeans on, right? You've got these skinny jeans on. You've got a shirt that's a little bit too tight and your belly's poking out a little bit too far. You've got reading glasses on with thick black rims, but you don't really need them, right? And you've got like a really shiny watch on, and but when you go home, you give it the big one. Yeah, do you know what I mean, brother? Yeah, I was out in Dubai one. Yeah, me and the lads, we were like, yeah. So I come up to him and he's right in my face. So I says, yeah, I'm right in your face. Yeah, and then indirect fire came and I was like, oh, get me home. I'm so scared. I think there's a lot of people like that right now in Dubai airport. And if you're like me, I would be on the beach sunbathing. I'd be on the beach sunbathing. I'd be taking advantage of the situation. You're not going to be in that situation again, so make the most of it. That's my advice to you if you're out in Dubai. Right, we've got more updates here. Is that it? Is that the updates? Yeah, here, more updates here. Right. Rubio confirms the drone hit the parking lot near the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The U.S. State Department, so the United States State Department, actively securing evacuation flights. It says it's facilitating charter flights from the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan for American citizens. But if you're British, don't worry, nobody's coming to help you. Trump administration claims they had 11 bombs worth of enriched uranium. I don't know where they've got that information from. Trump says U.S. Navy will escort tankers through Strait of Hormuz if necessary. Right, okay. Right, first of all, I love DJT. That I don't think that's going to happen. I struggle to see how that's going to happen because it doesn't matter. So Donald Trump says, if necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. That's not the problem. That is absolutely not the problem. The problem is the insurance companies. The insurance companies are not going to listen to the United States military and say, "Yep, we will underwrite your security because if it gets sunk, it's still going to go down the bottom of the ocean and nobody's going to repay them, right?" So unless the United States are going to underwrite the insurance as well, which I don't think is going to happen, it's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening. Or if it does happen, it's only going to happen to vessels that are going to the United States or that help the United States in some way. Right, let me jump onto the chat, guys. That's not the chat. Lisa Jane. Oh, Lisa Jane did say something, but I can't find it. I found, is Starmer gay? I don't know if Starmer's a bit gay. He might be a lot gay, might be no gay, but you know, whatever. I don't know. 10 minutes ago, Iran's Assembly of Experts meeting virtually to select new leader. So what happened earlier on today? Listen, I literally said exactly this, right? I said, listen, nobody's going to want that job because whoever takes that job as new supreme leader is going to get he's going to get a £250, £2,000 on his head. He's going to get a 2,200 pound JDAM glided on his head. He ain't going to want that. Nobody's going to want that. So they had a meeting earlier in Iran from mainstream media. Obviously, I wasn't there. I wasn't invited to the meeting. But they had a meeting where all the lead clerics, I think there was three of these lead clerics, they all met. And this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Three Iranian clerics met. No, it's not a joke. And the United States or Israel took them out with some drone strikes or, I don't know, missile strikes, air strikes, whatever. Trevor is saying, the fact is, we in this country are in deep doo-doo. We are indeed. There is nothing we can do apart from revolt. But if we revolt, we're slammed up. So what now? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the United Republic of Cleethorpes is going to be a thing, guys. I promise you, the United Republic of Cleethorpes is going to be a thing. Danielle Tudds is saying, my mate's in Dubai working. He's an ex-bootneck, and that's a Royal Marine. Nothing but sunshine and sunbathing going down in Dubai today. Yeah, people are gay. All these people, right, who've got tattoos on their necks and the sleeves, and they post for these Instagram models, pictures. They're absolutely gay. You are seeing a mass gayness right now. So what? A couple of drone strikes have hit Dubai. Big deal. It's not the end of the world, guys. That comes later. Right, I'm just going to jump down, guys, to the bottom. Yeah, the Turkish... Excuse me. Excuse me. So the Turkish have come out in mass solidarity with the Iranian regime, and I wasn't expecting that. Will drugs be legal in Cleethorpes? No. When I'm the leader of Cleethorpes, drugs will not be legal. However, on a Friday, everybody in Friday will have a compulsory 2 pints of beer and fish and chips. And that will be on the government. That will be on my regime. On Raven's regime, every Friday, everybody will get provided with 1 times fish and chips and 2 times pints of beer. And that one will be on me, guys. That one will be on me. So no drugs, but fish and chips will be absolutely mandatory. The UK to deploy... Oh, Cara, what a beautiful picture. What a beautiful picture you have, Cara. Cara has a picture of a CH-47, and I don't know if it's something on my screen. Yeah, of a CH-47. Beautiful helicopter. They're never going to build anything like that or to take over that. So, yeah. The United Kingdom to deploy HMS Dragon and anti-drone helicopters to Cyprus. So it's quite embarrassing at the moment because the French and the Greece are deploying ships to protect Cyprus, to protect RAF bases, but the British can't do that. Sean, what's the point of paying if you ignore? Right, 4 paws. I don't 4 paws. Right, okay, right. I can't different. Hang on. I can't on the chat. I don't know who is. Oh, hang on a minute. Ah, right. I can see. Right, 4 paws. Sorry. Right. 4 paws. I'm going to get all your messages now, 4 paws. I'm going to get all your messages. Right, hang on. Right, I can see now because they're in green. I've got it. Right, I've got it. Right, okay, I've got this. I've only just realized some names are in green, and I totally get that now. Right, I've got this. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm new to social media. I'm new to social media. I'm new to streaming. Sometimes, I struggle to even get on and do the, and do the videos. Right. Alan Rock, Birmingham, where my room was stabbed today. No whites allowed after 8 p.m. Yes. So if you guys have not seen this, the place in Birmingham where there was the black man who was alleged, because he was black, there's no denying it. If you guys have seen the video, there was a black man and he allegedly stabbed an Afghan man. Now, I don't know the ethnicity of the man that he stabbed, but certainly the man who was doing the aggression, he was definitely black, like real black. Now, there have been people walking around, Now, there have been people walking around this this town, and they've been saying, oh, look at what's happening here. Look at this graffiti on the walls. And literally, the graffiti literally says, no white people allowed in this area after 8 p.m. What? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the public outcry? Let me find it for you. Yeah. So let me share this with you. Thank you for that pause. Right. So this is in Alma, was it Alma? I can't, Alma Rock or something. So I don't know if you guys can see that. This is graffiti written in Alum Rock in Birmingham, where there was a stabbing today. Now, I don't know if you guys can read that, but it says, no whites after 8 p.m. And I don't think this is a laundrette. I don't think this is a laundrette, guys. I really don't. I think this means more than a laundrette. There's quite a few other pictures circling around of other type graffiti in and around that region. So what do we think, guys? Why is the mainstream media not all over that? Why is the mainstream media not talking about this? Why is there not a news anchor standing behind it saying, yes, I'm in Alum Rock in Birmingham today where X, Y, and Z happened, and we've just found this graffiti on the wall and it says no whites allowed after 8 p.m. Let me jump down, guys. I'm going to try and get as many of these comments as I can now. Hezbollah drones towards, can't even pronounce that, Najada something. We just done that one. Drone incursions in Western Galilee. We've done that. Middle Eastern Spectator. Right, guys, listen, I've only just realized that some people's names are in green and some are in white. So I only just realized that. Listen, I was today years old when I realized that. So I do apologize. I do apologize, guys, for that. If I want beer, okay. Yeah, the cyber attacks is a huge thing. Okay, so the thing with cyber attacks, right? You can make money from doing cyber attacks, right? We know you can make money. You can do hacking, you can do scams, you can do all sorts of stuff. So for a foreign country, for a peer adversary, right? When you're allocating, your finances, when you're allocating your, your money or what, your project proposals, right? And when somebody proposes you a project and you're like, right, okay, how much is that going to cost? And you're like, oh, it's going to cost you about 100 million. And you're like, right, okay, what do I get for my 100 million? And they say, well, you're going to get a load of sweet missiles, right? That's all. It's great. You're going to get some sweet missiles. Now, when people propose a cyber warfare department, that's the total opposite. You know, they give their proposal and they say, yeah, it's going to cost you 5 million startup, but we think we're going to bring in 30 million a year with various, you know, scams and hacks that we're going to do. So, like the cyber divisions, they pay for themselves, right? Age Aesthetics is saying the chats are too busy nowadays. It should, yeah, guys, it is. But listen, I've only just noticed, and I do apologize. This is on, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this one's on me. This one's on me. I'll take this one. I'm big enough to own up. I've only just realized that I've only just realized how you can tell by the side of your name. You've got like a little emoji. Now, I didn't know what that was, but I'm assuming they're to the subscribers. Right. Anyway, let's jump to the bottom, guys. Let's not cry about spilt milk. We've dealt with it. We found the problem. We've dealt with it. We've rectified it, and we are going to continue, and it's going to be fantastic. The Guardian, China calls for vessels in the Strait of Hormuz to be protected amid soaring. Yeah, China's going to be China will be affected the most. So all of these countries in the Middle East, all of the countries in the world, actually, closing the Strait of Hormuz is going to hit the Chinese the hardest. So of course they're going to be calling for it. You know, for calling it for it to be. You know, of course, they're going to be calling for that to be protected. Right. Give me a second, guys, because there's more updates on more updates have just come. Israel issues displacement orders for 3 villages in southern Lebanon. Urgent warning to residents of southern Lebanon and specifically in the following villages. God, can you imagine if you guys are getting that? And listen, let's not pretend that this is not coming to the United Kingdom where, you know, if you live in certain parts of Birmingham, you may be given, you know, an urgent warning to residents living in the, what was the place? Alum Hill or whatever it was, Alum Hill. Urgent warning to all white residents who live in, what is it? Alum, oh, let me find it again. Alum Rock. Listen, as crazy as this sounds, right? I don't rule this out. I don't rule it out that somewhere in the United Kingdom pretty soon, you know, there are mass alerts saying, urgent message to all whites living in the Alum Rock area of Birmingham. You have until tomorrow morning to leave. Why am I saying that? Well, there's graffiti all over Alum Rock that no whites are allowed after 8 p.m. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility to think where that escalates, right? Where are you going to go? Well, literally, where are you going to go in the United Kingdom? There are no safe places anymore. Edinburgh yesterday. Birmingham and Battersea today. Where do you think it's going to be tomorrow? Where are we going to wake up tomorrow? Should we have a sweepstake? Should we have like a £2 bet where it's going to be tomorrow? Yeah, so obviously I'm talking about the no whites allowed after 8 p.m. in Alum Rock in Birmingham. AJ saying chat should be subscribers only. If you want to chat, you should pay to support Raven. Do you know what? I guess that would stop trolls coming in, wouldn't it? Let me see if I can do this here. Give me a second. Because listen, you are absolutely right. It's getting really. Can I do that? Oh, all right. Hang on. I'm just looking at the right options. Right, let me Google how to do that. And that might be an option, actually. That might be an option. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree, guys. I agree as well. Marie Gen X is saying, Sean, USA Embassy in Dubai just being hit by drone per Reuters. Yeah. Oh, is the embassy or the just? Is that the embassy or the consulate? Hang on. Let me find this. Okay. Right. Iran, US shuts. Okay, 20 minutes ago. Okay, so live updates. US shuts embassies after drone attacks. US embassies are under fire. The US shuts its embassy in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Beirut. Oh no, that's not Dubai. Let me find Dubai. I can't find this. Let me try Reuters. Right, I can't find that. I'm not saying it's not there. I'll have to if that's literally just happened. If that's just happened, although I'm pretty sure that happened earlier. And was it not the consulate? I don't know. Alum Rock, yeah. So Alum Rock is the place. Alum Rock is the place in. Alum Rock's the place in Birmingham where, you know what, let me Google this. Alum Rock is the place in Birmingham where there was the stabbing today. Now, I don't know what the outcome of that stabbing was. I don't know who the man was. He was certainly black, who was doing the stabbing, and the word on social media is that he stabbed an Afghan man. And that was earlier on today. So I'll just share this with you guys quick. So yeah, Alum Rock. Man stabbed near Birmingham Primary School. Again, you know, we're seeing these pattern recognitions. Yeah, so this was the incident today that we're talking about. No. So Lisa Jane is saying The Guardian 3 hours ago, Italian ambulance driver investigated on suspicion of sending 5 patients to the candy shop. We don't need that, do we? We don't need that. Nobody needs that. Google Azos is saying Syria are sending thousands of troops to the border with Lebanon. I think that's going to be to stop. I think that's going to be to stop refugees, to be honest. Yeah, all banks. I would say not just US banks, but I would say all banks are on high alert. Peabody is saying video on X of Birmingham stabbing shows. Yeah, I've seen those videos, guys. I've seen those videos. Yeah, that's what it might be. It might be no whites on no white laundry after 8 o'clock. They don't want to mix those colors. The Guardian 30 minutes ago, Middle East crisis. Israeli military says it struck Iran's site aimed at developing nuclear weapon capabilities. Right, guys, listen, the chat's getting out of order. I'm literally going to have to jump. I think who our pages of supporters are green names. Yeah, you guys are. And I only just noticed this now, guys. Oh, hang on, somebody sent a super. Right, let me. Okay, right, let me. I need to find this one first. Right, where is it? Right. Right, there's so many comments, guys. It's really difficult to. Okay, right. So listen, I'm on StreamYard, so I don't really know how to do this. So I don't have a live control room. I use StreamYard to stream on. So I'll have to Google how to do it. Yeah, so I'm on StreamYard. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, I will have to sort something out with the chat, guys, because it really does get quite a lot. There's quite a lot, and it goes up quick. Like right now, I've got like hundreds of messages, and I'm struggling to get through them. Silly Gallardi has sent a super of 6.9 shekels. Thank you very much, Silly Gallardi, for sending your Is it shekels or shackles? And Peabody has become a member. Thank you very much, Peabody, for becoming a member. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me try and run through what's been happening today. Sean, you need to open up a YouTube studio. If I open up a YouTube studio, I can only stream on one platform. So if I open up YouTube Studio, I can only stream on one platform. When I'm on here, I can stream on like 10 platforms at the same time, and I know how to use it. Right, let me get down to the bottom. Right, I'm down at the bottom. Right, so listen, guys, let me run through what's been happening and what I think is coming very soon. So, first of all, the situation in Iran, Israel, the United States, it's not getting any better. It's only going to get worse or more intense, whichever way you guys or better, whichever way you guys are looking at it. There's going to be more drone strikes. There's going to be more missile strikes in that region. Donald Trump has come out earlier on today, and he's absolutely blasted Keir Starmer quite embarrassingly. And for me, I'm just confused as how the president of the United States can be so articulate and can manage to understand what Britain needs to do to make things great again. Whereas here in the United Kingdom, it does seem like Keir Starmer, as Donald Trump says, he ain't no Churchill. So let me just share with you guys again. I know I said I'd do it earlier, but I forgot. So let me just share with you guys again what Donald Trump actually said and what all the hullabaloo is about. And I think listen, guys, I'll be quite clear. I think what Donald Trump is saying is absolutely spot on.
Has UK. Now, the second one is shocking, but this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that stupid island that they have, that they gave away and took a 100-year lease, having to do with perhaps indigenous people claiming the island that never even saw the island before. What's that all about? And they ruin relationships. It's a shame. It's and that country, UK, and I love that country. I love it. My mother was born there. I love it. My mother was born there. My father was born. Right, he knows all about my father. My father was born there. So very places that you sort of automatically very, very feel warmly about. But the UK, what they're doing with energy and what they're doing with immigration is horrible.
So how does, in the midst of all this chaos that's going on around the world, the United States are fighting a war right now, right? So how does the United States president just in a 2-minute reel articulate, identify, and rectify what's going wrong in the United Kingdom so quickly? How does he do that? Like, how does he do it? And look, let's be clear, right? There's a couple of reasons why Keir Starmer's not the word that rhymes with clear. Let's be clear. There's a couple of reasons why Keir Starmer has to be act like he is. First of all, there's a huge Muslim vote, and they're worried about votes, and they're worried about hostilities on the streets, community tensions. I think they call it. I think the polite word is community tensions. So they're worried about votes, and they're worried about community tensions. Also, the United Kingdom has to go into Ukraine at some point, and I think that's coming this year. I do. I think the United States are going to go into Ukraine this year. Oh, sorry, the United Kingdom will have boots on the ground in Ukraine at some point this year. Now, things have started to move a lot faster, and that's what happens in war. Things move a lot faster because you have to make those decisions, right? When you're in a war zone, you can't really flim-flammer for 2 weeks about a decision because the bad guys will have taken you by then. So you have to make a decision. So it makes things happen a lot quicker. So they're the two real reasons why the United Kingdom cannot. And again, the initial problem, the votes, the worries about community tensions, that's a self-inflicted problem from government after government after government after government.
You have the North Sea. Somebody said yesterday, what would you do if you were the UK? Open up the North Sea. They got windmills all over the place that are ruining the country, ruining the landscapes, ruining the beautiful fields. Open up the North Sea. It's one of the greatest. Think of it. They buy their energy from Norway, which gets the energy, the oil, from the North Sea. So Norway drills in the North Sea and sells it to UK. And UK has a better part of the North Sea. Open up that.
Can you imagine that, right? Can you imagine that situation, right? Imagine this. So if you guys are trying to, like, you know, trying to get your head around what's happening in the North Sea, imagine you and your mate, imagine you've got a pond in your garden, right? Imagine you've got a pond in your garden, right? And you want to get some water, right? And your kids are like, Daddy, should we go and get some water? And you're like, no, we're not allowed to get any water. We've got to preserve that. We've got to preserve that lake, that pond, right? This is exactly what it's like, right? This is exactly what it's like, right? So you're telling your kids, and you're telling your wife and your kids and everybody that you can't get water from the pond in your garden because you need to protect the water. You know, you need to protect the water. So you say, oh, Daddy, well, where are we going to get this water from? And you say, we're going to buy it from next door. And you say, oh. And then they say, oh, but where are next door getting their water from? And you say, they're getting it from our pond. And you look at your dad and you're like, what? You're like, yeah, that's because we're preserving the water. And you're like, we're not preserving the water. We're just paying them. We just pay more for it because we're paying them to get it for us when we can get it ourselves. That's literally what the North Sea oil's like. It's so ridiculous. It's embarrassing. And this level of incompetence, cannot be by mistake, right? This level of incompetence cannot be a mistake. Can you honestly say that to yourselves? You've got, an apple tree. Say you've got an apple tree in the garden, right? You've got an apple tree in the garden, and you're like, yeah, we kind of need some apples. And your kids are like, all right, Dad, we'll go and, we'll go and get some apples from the apple tree. And you're like, no. We need to preserve that and protect that apple tree. You're like, oh, right, okay, yeah. We'll preserve and protect that apple tree. Where are we going to get the apples from, Dad? Oh, we're going to buy them from next door. Oh, where are they getting the apples from? Our apple tree. That's what it's like, this North Sea oil thing.
And number two, illegal immigration. They got to solve that problem. And I must say, that's not only.
Do you know how I think they're going to solve illegal immigration? Real simple. They can, real simple. They just make it legal. They just make it legal then. They just, it's just legal now. We don't have illegal immigration because it's just legal.
Only UK, that's other parts of the European Union. They have the same problem. Immigration and energy. The energy is through the roof, the highest in the world. And the immigration was, look, you have places where in the UK, you have a terrible mayor of London, terrible. He's an incompetent guy. But you have Sharia courts. You don't have Sharia courts. You don't want Sharia courts. You have Sharia courts adjudicating law. So it's very simple. Immigration, very importantly, immigration and energy. And you bring it back. Otherwise, you're not going to bring it back.
So what it means by otherwise we're not going to bring it back is if we don't sort it out now, we're never going to sort it out. So that's what he's talking about, guys. If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it now. Right, listen, guys, let me throw this. Your tree, yeah, we're getting it from your tree. Right, let me jump up and make sure there's no... Sean, in 2009, the UK Parliament signed a declaration that Britain has no indigenous people. What? This was an important step in priming the... What? Right, I'm going to have to look into this. Let me... Right, what time we are? Right, let me Google this. Right. Hertzman, I am going to look into that. I'm going to look into that. I've not... I didn't know that. Every day is school day. Right, I'm just jumping down to the bottom, guys. Murder investigation after man died. Okay, is this the one this morning? Yeah, there was a stabbing this morning, and what I've seen on, again, I don't know if this is true. What I've seen was videos released on various platforms, of a man who he looked black, trying to attack someone. Now there are more videos that I believe, but I just don't think I've seen them. We got 3 years. I don't know if we've got 3 years. I don't know if we've got 3 years at all, guys. I don't know if we've got 3 years. I think things will move fast. I think things will move fast. I mean, the next election, right, in 2029, that is going to be absolute chaos. The election in 2029 is going to be absolute chaos. It is. It really is. Oh, D. Marie Gen X sent a £25 super, and she's saying, great hair envy tax. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a great hair envy tax is, but listen, I don't know what that means, D. Marie Gen X, but listen, on that bombshell, I think I'm going to close this down now. So thank you for that super, D. Marie. I do really appreciate all the supers, and they all go towards, they do, guys. All my supers go towards repairing my roof, because like there, when it rains, like when it rains heavy, there is quite a big, quite a big roof. Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. Everything's gone crackers. Everything's gone crazy. I would say the likelihood of an event happening in the United Kingdom now has gone up. So I am going to close this down. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so I'm going to close it down. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, guys. I will. I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Oh, hang on a minute. Seb Lee Griffiths has become a member as well. So welcome, Seb. You're most welcome. I hope you're going to be a powerful contributor to the channel, and you are most welcome. And Dee Marie, thank you for the great hair envy tax. I do appreciate it. And thank you. I do feel I've got great hair as well. I do. I feel I've got great hair. Right, guys, listen, I am going. I'll be back on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning with another update. And let's just pray, right? Let's just pray that we wake up in the morning and there's been no events. You know, that stabbies or rammies. Let's just hope that there's no more schools on lockdown. Let's just hope that there's no more men of unknown origin trying to get into a primary school. Oh, and Michelle's become a member as well. Thank you for becoming a member, Michelle. You are most welcome. I know you're going to be a great contributor. And I will close this down now, ladies and gentlemen. So I bid you good evening. I'll be back on at 10 tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.